From coal to asphalt to dried cement to grain and scrap metals. Each of these barges can hold 1,500 tons of one product.
So, ayan guys. Ayan mga paripi. Sasakay kami dyan mamaya. Ayan mga paripi. Ayan. Sasakay kami dyan. Ayan, Riverboats. Kita kami dyan. Ayan. So, sasakay tayo dyan mamaya. So, ayan. Dito na kami mga parikoy. Dito kami sa loob. Tapos dyan kami sasakay. Kami dyan mamaya. O ayan. Ayan. So magkukross kami dito. Ayan. Tapos nandun yung arc. Yung arc nandun. So ayan. Andun yung arch mga parikoy. Yan. Andun yung arch. Tapos dito kami. Diyan kami sasakay mamaya. Okay. Yan. Naghintay kaming mag-board sa ferry. Yan. Si Garduki. Yan, Garduki yan. Si Garduki. Garduki. Yan, tapos ang art andun. Ha? Okay. Ayan mga parikoy, boarding na kami, boarding and boarding na boarding and
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Welcome aboard. You are the boat while we cruise today, but please do. Hello, Jay.
Na kami. Ayan. Ang ganda dito mga guys. Ayan o. Ganda dito. Andun yung arc. Ayan. Pwede din baba dyan.
And the river current depth is normally 20 feet of water here in St. Louis. Stick around dock for a couple minutes because if you look over to the right, you will notice this barge in this boat passing us. From coal to asphalt to dried cement to grain and scrap metals. Each of these barges can hold 1,500 tons of one product.
Alis na kami mga kapatid.
Let's talk once again about the depth of the river. As I stated before, normal river depth here in St. Louis is 20 feet of water. As we pull away from the dock, if you look over to your left
Ayan,
on
guys.
the flood wall, you'll notice that small little yellow
na kami,
sign that
barangada
says
na
roof
kami.
on it.
Yan.
That is the old river stage level marker. Passing boat captains up until about 3 or 4 years ago when everything got technical, usually passed by St. Louis. Look at that little yellow sign, and that sign would have some numbers and a letter on it. If that sign was in use today, you would see the numbers 14.4 and the letter F. That means we are 14 feet and 4 inches above that 20-foot mark. So no, as you're cruising up and down the river today, you've got 34 feet of water underneath the Tom Sawyer. The site where present-day St. Louis, Missouri sits was founded in December of 1763 by French explorer and fur trader Pierre Leclerc. It was authorized by King Louis IX to find, set up, and establish a fur trading post along the Mississippi River. St. Louis was an ideal spot because there used to be limestone levees here that would stop this area from flooding every year.
So yan guys.
From 1763 to about 1766, the population here in St. Louis was 800 people. Those 800 people lived within the boundaries of the 98 acres that now make up the Gateway Arch National Park. Today, a little over 263,000 people call St. Louis home. Arch National Park underwent a $340 million renovation for the park over the highway to connect the city and the park together. They put in a brand new museum, they put in some new... And that spot where it sits is the spot where in 1806 Lewis and Clark landed after their successful return westward.
Malayo-layo na kami mga parikoy. Yan. Umuulan na doon sa kabila. Yan. So mag-cross kami dito. Yan. Kukross kami dyan.
This is the first bridge we are approaching. It's the first bridge to span the Mississippi anywhere. Designer and builder James Buchanan Eads spent $9 million of his own money to build this bridge. It is constructed out of cast steel and is the world's first arch lever and steel bridge. Construction started on this bridge in 1877 and was finished Now the locomotives got a little bit too big and they no longer use that middle railing you see, but that railing is still in use today because it now carries our light rail system known as Metrolink back and forth across the river.
Ayan guys, so ang grabe ng structure niya. Yung structure ng tulay na ito is napakatibay ang structure. So right now, let's go
city and the riverfront area was devastated by a
Meron pa
major
doon.
fire that destroyed
Okay lang yan,
most
meron
of
pa
the
doon.
riverfront area. But in 1850, the city was rebuilt
Meron pa
using
doon.
bricks, stone, and steel. But across to our left, this area between the two bridges is known as Lickley Landing. These brick buildings you see over here off to our left are the original buildings and the only buildings left from 1850. They now house some offices, a few restaurants, a couple nightclubs, and an apartment complex. This was also the northernmost boundary for the city back in 1850.
Mabilis talaga yung cargo na tinulak ng isa. Mabilis yung tumakbo.
Pier Floating Casino here in the St. Louis riverfront. But in 2011, the Lumiere Casino Company bought out the boat, sold it for scraps, and built their casino up there on dry land up to our left. Now, Missouri gaming law states that all casinos have to be on river water. Believe it or not, folks, the casino you see there up there on dry land is on river water. And here's how. The Lumiere Company dug the ditch for their casino, poured the foundation, and then once that foundation was dry, they filled the rest of that ditch with Mississippi River water. If you were to walk up there to that casino, it would look like that casino is surrounded by a moat. That is the Mississippi River water. The big dome you see behind the casino for 20 years now became formerly known as the St. Louis Rams. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, the Rams packed up and moved back to Los Angeles.
Pilipinas lang yung ito meron din pala dyan. Ano sila naka-tubo-tubo o naka-tent. Ayan. Sana time tayo mapuntahan ka dyan. Ayan, parang nagluto-luto na sila. Ayan. Marami pa. Yan sila natutulog. Ayan. Ayan. Mga ano sila, mga tent. Ayan. Ayan itong mga building na. Pero dyan yan sila matutulog.
The big gray wall with all the graffiti on it off to our left is the St. Louis flood wall. Built in the 60s and the 70s, it was built to help stop the city from flooding every year. Now in 1993, when the Mississippi went through the Great Flood, this wall almost failed at that job because the Mississippi rose to within 2 feet of the top of this wall and stayed that way from April to October of 1993. The brick building behind the flood wall is the Ashland Street Power Plant. Built in 1902, it was a coal-burning power plant that supplied electricity to to the 1904 World's Fair that was held here in St. Louis. At this World's Fair, the world got to experience its first taste of the hot dog, the ice cream cone, and a glass of iced tea.
Electric.
This building is still in use today, but it was converted to an oil-burning power plant in the mid-70s,
Oh,
and now supplies steam heat in an 18-mile loop underneath the city during the winter.
antik na sa yan. Antik na yan sa mga parikoy. Yung building na yan. Union Electric. Pero converted to oil burning. Sabi ng tour guide natin. So, ayan. So, malapit na tayo sa tulay. Ayan, malapit na tayo dyan. Malapit na tayo dyan mga parikoy. Ang ganda niya, oh, parang siyang San Juanico Beach. So, ayan mga parikoy, malapit na tayo. Malapit na tayo sa third. Sorry. Mostly ang nakatira dito is mga itim. Oo, mga itim nakatira dito. Yung halos lahat. Kunti lang yung mga itim ang nandito. So, yan sila.
The steamboat played a major role in the 19th century development of the Mississippi River and its tributaries by allowing large-scale transport of both passengers and freight up and down the river. There were two types of steamboats used to travel up and down the river. You had the side wheeler, which was the larger of the two steamboats. It was about twice as big as the one you are traveling on today. It had a paddle wheel on each side of the boat, and these paddle wheels helped maneuver the big boat in the deep, wide areas of the Mississippi River. The stern wheel, which you are traveling on, was generally smaller than two boats and had one main paddle wheel in the rear of the boat. This enabled the smaller boat to be used in the smaller rivers and tributaries up and down the Mississippi River.